Number one, which expression represents the phrase below? 83 less a number. Notice it doesn't say 83 less than a number. It says 83 less a number. 83 less a number n is 83 minus n. If it had said 83 less than a number, it would be n minus 83. But that's not the case. It says 83 less a number, 83 minus n. If n stands for an unknown number or variable, and that's usually what a variable is an unknown number, which expression represents the phrase below? The sum of a number and 3 divided by 7. Well, you might write this out incorrectly and say the sum of a number, sum means we're adding, so we're going to say the sum of a number, and that's the unknown number. You might incorrectly say n plus 3 divided by 7. Well, the reason why that's incorrect is we're saying the sum of a number and 3 divided by 7. So we're saying all that divided by 7, which should be divided by 7 like so. Okay? And here we have that choice D. Now, if you're in second and fourth period, you're going to have to write this out completely. If you're in first and third, you'll have a multiple choice on the test. Okay. Jonah has S yards of string. It's a variable yard. We don't know what it is. She can cut an equal number of pieces of string for an art project. Never mind. We didn't do this one because it was yards and feet. So let's scratch that one. That was a boo-boo on the question. So let's just skip that one. Which of the following shows the expression below in its simplest form? Well, all we have to do here, remember our order of operations says that addition and subtraction are equal. So we're just going to go from left to right, just like we read, and combine, because a lot of times you would think, well, in PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that addition comes first. Well, that's not the case. We have 4 steps in the order of operations, not 3. Okay, so all we got to do is combine like terms, and they're all like terms because they all have the same variable m. So we have 5m minus 3m, which is 2m, and rewrite everything. So we're done with that guy, done with that guy, done with that guy, plus 6m. Now we got 2m plus 6m, that's going to equal 8m right there, and our choice is B. Which is equivalent to the expression below? So we're going to simplify this, or evaluate it, and then find the answer. Well, in this case, we can only combine like terms. So let's start from left to right since we're adding and subtracting. We're going to start here. What can I combine 4a with? Well, I can combine that with minus a, or a negative a. Well, that's the same thing as having a 1 right in front of the a right there. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so we're going to end up with 3a. And go ahead and mark these guys out because we're done with them. And on the test, you might want to just draw a line through them. That way you can go back to them if you messed up. So again, forgive me, we're left with a positive 5 and a positive 2. Well, 5 plus 2 is positive 7. And we're left with choice C. Which is equivalent to the expression below? Well, this is one of those real weird ones. We got to distribute this 6 through multiplication to both of these guys in here. Okay, which means we have to say 6 times 2k, and we have to say 6 times a negative 3. Now keep in mind, that's a negative 3 there. We have to multiply by a negative 3. And remember, when we're adding and subtracting, we have to combine like terms. In other words, the variable has to be the same. We either have to have no variable, or the variable has to be exactly the same. Well, in this case, we're multiplying, and you can multiply just about anything. So we don't have to worry about whether or not they're like terms or not to multiply. So ask yourself, what is 6 times 2? That's 12. We retain the k, we keep that. Then we got 6 times a negative 3. Well, anytime you multiply a positive times a negative, you're going to end up with a negative, so we have negative 18. There's nothing we can do to that to simplify it. That is choice D. The Hamid family, and this is one of the advanced classes you guys are going to have to come up with on your own. The Hamid family stayed at a hotel for N nights. So that could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 1. The cost was $80 per night. So you would multiply that times however many nights you had, plus a one-time fee of $20 because they brought their dog. Which expression represents the total cost of their stay? Well, we have N nights. That is our variable. Well, if you have 10, 20, whatever, you have to multiply that by what? You have to multiply that by 80. So we're going to say 80 N plus, no matter what, if you stayed 5 minutes, you still have to pay the $20 fee. So we're going to say plus 20. And that's if you stayed a year, you would have to pay that. If you stayed one night, it doesn't matter. That cost, that is what we call a constant. Well, and we don't multiply that by anything. We leave that by itself. That's a one-time and only fee. Now remember, this is very, very much like I told you about the scenario where I have a plumber come out to my house. Well, they're going to charge me $100 regardless, even if they work on my plumbing for 5 minutes. Then they're going to charge me an additional 10, 20, well, probably not 10, but $50 an hour or whatever. Well, this is the same thing. Okay. Choice B. The number of pledges that Melissa collected for this year's charity walk is 8 less than half the number of pledges she collected last year. She collected P pledges last year. Which expression represents the number of pledges she collected this year? The number of pledges Melissa collected for this year's walk is, so we can say her pledges, M, equals 8 less than. Now remember, that is not 8 minus. It is something minus 8. 8 less than something. 8 less than half the number of pledges she collected last year. Okay, half the number of pledges she collected last year. Number of pledges she collected last year was P. Okay, so we would say P over 2 or 1/2 P minus 8. And you have to be able to recognize that these two are the same thing. Okay? Because you might like to do it like this, but at the end of the day, the choices given to you are going to be like this. All right? And we don't have a 1/2 P minus 8 anywhere here. Now, we can get rid of this, of course, because we're looking for an expression, but answer is C. Number 9. Well, maybe if I did number 9, I could move the sheet. Aiden is shopping for school supplies. He's got $35. No matter what, he can't spend more than that. He's got $35 and that's it. To spend on a calculator and notebooks. So he's going to buy a calculator and then he's going to buy some notebooks. He will buy one calculator for $18. Let N represent the cost of one notebook. Which expression represents the number of notebooks Aiden can buy with $35? Okay. We're going to say 35. I've got that to begin with. Now, no matter what, I've got to spend 18. So I'm going to have minus 18 here. And that's going to leave me with $17. Let's just kind of put that right there. Now, if I've got $17 left and I want to buy as many notebooks as I can, what would I do? Well, I would divide 17 by the number of, or the price of the notebooks. Well, we don't know the price here. The price is N. Let N represent the cost of one notebook. Which expression represents the number of notebooks Aiden can buy with the $35? That is going to be divided by N. Or you could say 35 minus 18 divided by N. Excuse me. Well, we don't have this here. We have this right here, and that is B. More to come.